Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk
On 702.
So, this is Adult Radio, and today we are talking about the art of seduction. How to master the art of seduction. Do you ever seduce your partner? And how do you do it? Or do you have a partner that knows how to seduce you? Right? Seduction is all about enhancing the natural allure that exists between partners. Right? It adds excitement in your marriage or relationship. It keeps that passion alive. You're fostering that deeper emotional connection and shared intimacy. So it's a way to actually express your desire and keep the romance flourishing. And seduction is an art, right? It is a slow art that ignites imagination, it ignites passion, lust and thrill. And sometimes seduction can be subtle, can be the subtle art of attraction that binds you and your partner together. When approached with authenticity and respect, it really can deepen connection and keep the spark alive in a relationship. And isn't that what we all want, to keep that spark alive in a relationship? So, have you mastered the art of seduction? Do you seduce your partner? What are your go-to seduction tricks? Do you want to know how to be more seductive to your partner? This is a conversation we're having around mastering the art of seduction. So I want you to share your thoughts with us, your inputs. Maybe you need some advice from my guest on how you can just add that spark in your relationship through the art of seduction. You can call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Lisa Welsh is a sex educator and founder of Save That Spark. Lisa, welcome back to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. What an absolute pleasure to be here with you.
Always love having you on the show. So there was a lot of interest, I must say, particularly from the ladies when I announced that we're going to talk about the art of seduction. But I think gentlemen need to be excited about this topic as well, because this is an opportunity for them as well to learn how to be seductive towards their partners. But before we got through how to do it, how it helps relationships, let's maybe define what seduction is. Is it about turning someone on? How do we exactly define seduction in the context of our conversation today?
That is a good question. And I understand why the ladies are excited about it, because the idea of being seduced is wonderful. Because if we define seduction, it is that art of drawing someone in through your presence, which we don't have presence anymore. Like cell phones are in the way, but it's like your presence, your attention, your emotional attunement to that person. It's like you're paying full attention. And through that, you create this kind of sense of connection, possibility, like what could happen. You're making that other person feel like they are the only person in the room, the only person that you're interested in. And you do that with your body, with your words. And it's not just about how they look. When you're seducing somebody, you are showing you're interested in their energy, like their essence. Like it's really inviting, teasing, and it can be subtle, like you said, it can be playful, it can be more intense, but it's making that person feel chosen. And that is what makes it so exciting.
And is it something that is only applicable to certain couples and not the others? In other words, does every relationship need, the couple to be seductive towards each other to keep the spark alive?
Well, it's not an essential component, but it is exciting. So it keeps the desire alive, like you said, right? It's a great way to remind each other that you're choosing them, that you want them, right? That you see them as a hot-blooded human that you want to be with. So it just helps if instead of relationships becoming functional and boring and schedules, responsibility, routine, this is bringing back that mystery, that attention, that play that just says, you're my person. Like, I want to be with you. I see you as my lover, not only my co-parent, my roommate, my colleague, the person who has to pay the bills with me. Instead, it's keeping the intimacy alive. So it's like those little, it's the friction, the tension, the eye contact, the lingering touches in the kitchen even. So it's just saying, I want you still. So yeah, we can say you don't have to have that, but I mean, it's very nice to have it.
Yeah. So can seduction be both emotional as well as physical?
Definitely. In fact, it can be more emotional than physical. It's like the invitation. It's like, haha, I see you like this. And it helps us to see ourselves like that. It reminds us that we are still, we still got it. And yeah, that helps you move towards the physical. But it's definitely a mixture of both.
So how much of seduction then is about how you feel about yourself rather than what you do to someone else? Like, is it more about, you, some aspects of it about you, or mostly about the next person that you are seducing?
That's a good question. I think in order to be seductive, you have to be in a good mindset. If you are trying to seduce somebody, then you're seeing that in them. And then therefore you see that in yourself. Like, in order to be in the mood where you're able to give all of your attention and presence and see all of that great stuff in the person your attentions are directed at, then yes, you would also need to be in touch with that aspect of yourself. So it's like heightening the energy for everybody involved.
I mean, the seduction, especially when it comes to older couples, and not even just older couples. I think, Lisa, when people begin to relax in the relationship and they think, we've been together for 5 years or 10 years, 20 years, must I still try and be seductive towards my partner, my spouse? So we often get to a point where we relax in relationships and we start neglecting the importance of just getting each other excited, even through seduction. And this happens a lot in long-term relationships. Why is seduction often neglected by couples in long-term relationships?
Yeah. It's so easy to let it go and to get comfortable and just get in the ruts. It takes effort to be seductive, right? And that effort, sometimes we don't value it. We just carry on, life gets busy, and, really, do I have to put on my perfume every day for you? It's small things, but it can be really small gestures. You don't have to be wearing the fancy lingerie every day or having these big grand gestures, but it is about presence. You can seduce your long-term partner by putting your phone down and looking them in the eye when you ask them a question, right? Making real eye contact, touching their arm while they are talking, being kind, saying something unexpected instead of falling into default patterns of just nagging or resentment. So it's not just about trying to get them into bed. That's not the only point of seduction. It's to make them feel seen, right? That is really the essence. If we think about that, looking at your partner, seeing that they've had a really incredibly busy day and maybe they've got like baby food on their jumper, they're looking a mess, they're tired. And it's instead of thinking, why don't they make more of an effort? See them for who they are, say, I've run a bath for you. You look so cute in those pajama trousers, it's like thinking of ways that you can help them be seen, reignite that curiosity, and remind them that you still see them as your lover.
Okay.
So it does take effort, but it's definitely worth it. It's about closeness.
Okay. 20 minutes after 11 o'clock. Do you still seduce your partner even after so many years of being together? Does your partner still seduce you? As Lisa says, this is not just about getting someone to be intimate with you, your partner to get to bed with you, but it's more than that. And that's why seduction can be both emotional as well as physical. Do you still do it? Is your partner now too relaxed in the relationship? And you can see that we're beginning to neglect the art of seduction. And I suppose what's weird here is sometimes you meet people who are so romantic and so seductive in the beginning, because suppose they're trying to impress you but the minute you are settled and we're together for a while, you miss that. Because you wonder, but where's that person? Where's that guy? Where's that lady that used to be so passionate, that used to be so seductive, used to send me these saucy messages while I'm at work and I can't wait to get home? How do you revive that in your relationship? Huh? It's 21 after 11. Send me a WhatsApp.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
25 minutes after 11 o'clock, we're talking about how to master the art of seduction for your boo, for your spouse, for your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partner. Do you still do that? Or do you think you've gotten to a point where we're now focusing on the kids, or we're focusing on other things and not so much on us? And maybe you used to do that when you were young in this relationship or marriage. What made it stop? And if many years later you're still able to seduce each other, please let us know how you go about doing it. Maybe you can give some tips to some of the listeners who have lost that in their relationships and they want to try and reestablish it. Let's go to your calls now. Rorisang, you're calling us from Pretoria East. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Clement, and thank you for this topic. I'm stressed, Clement, because really, the cold this winter, winter paralyzes me. So you'll be wearing layers and layers of clothes. The only time you're warm, you're in the fire, by the fireplace, and by the fireplace you're sitting with the whole family, the kids and all.
Yeah.
But the moment you move to the bedroom, you put on layers and layers of clothes, and then your partner doesn't want the electric blanket because for one night it's just too hot. So it's just...
There's no time for seduction there. Okay, but Rorisang, what are you doing with clothes in bed when you're sleeping with your partner?
No, it's winter, bruh. It's
But
winter.
your partner is there to warm you up, no?
And he's warm, I can't deny it. But when you jump into that bed and there's no electric blanket on, no.
But you know there are electric blankets also that, like, they warm up different sides of the bed. But if you go for that one, then there's no even cuddling, or you are on your side.
Exactly, you're on your side, and that's the problem. You see?
Yeah, okay.
I need help. I don't know.
All right, Rorisang in Pretoria thank you for your call. Lisa, it's cold. People don't have time for cuddles and seductions when it's cold. But I suppose seduction is broader than just even like, let me touch you before, or cuddle. I mean, it could be saucy messages that you send to your partner while they're at work, and you telling them about how you can't wait to see them later on. It could be just a conversation you have and you're looking at each other right in the eyes. And I mean, those are the kind of things, right, that still with your layers and layers of clothes while you're in bed, you can still enjoy some seduction without getting you cold.
That's true. You're absolutely right. You can use your voice and your eye contact. But let's think about this. If we imagine it's a cold place, but you've got a fire going and you're sharing a blanket and you're snuggling up together. I know it's cold, but what if you kind of just make a little bit of friction? You're like warming each other up a little, slowly removing the layers as you kind of get customized under the blanket. So you can make it work to your advantage. And like a little bit of cold can kind of wake you up, so you're fully present. So kind of go with it. You know, when you slip into the bed first of all and it's like, oh, cold, then why not make some of your own heat? I think this is just
make your own heat. I love that.
Keep your socks on.
I love that. Okay, so what are some of the ways though people can become more seductive in their relationships? Like, can you use stuff like everyday activities, like, I don't know, cooking together, maybe as an act of seduction? So what are the ways that our listeners can consider?
Definitely, that is a great one. Yeah, so seductive behavior in general is just I mean, I'm going to sound like I'm repeating myself here, but being present. Like, what are you doing? How can you be more present? Like, what are you already doing together? Certainly using messages like WhatsApps. If you're normally WhatsApping and it's kind of like a, everyday bit of a grumble or please pick up the breads and don't forget this and that, how can you be more present and make that an area of seduction? Because you can seduce somebody via text message. That is completely valid. It's thinking about how to make that person feel special. So it's just putting in a little bit more effort. Doesn't have to cost money, but what can you do in your everyday life, right? So a cheeky text, a compliment, just trying to avoid talking about chores for one day, a playful nudge. Like you can seduce each other while the kids are there. They don't even need to know, say you're at Spur and you're looking at each other over the table. You can do a little touch under the table, toes together. You know what I mean? It can be at a restaurant. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be obvious. It's just a moment of connection between the two of you. It's like reigniting that spark. So it's finding the moments.
Okay. And for single people, how can a single person tap into their seductive energy, especially with someone they don't particularly know that well?
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely can. This is a great way to kind of figure out if somebody is interested. So if you've noticed somebody, maybe you're at a bar or maybe it's somebody at work, you just want to start carefully, just tentatively, starting with eye contact, like maybe a warm smile and some casual conversation, and keep it light initially and notice how they respond to you. So you're putting your attention on somebody, but you're not going all in. You're putting attention so that they know that you've noticed them and seeing how they respond. Do they lean into you? If they do, can you lean in a little bit more? So it's taking your time. It's being gentle and playful with it. Obviously, consent is everything here, but absolutely, you can slowly seduce somebody. You can seduce somebody from across the room. Nobody else needs to notice, but the two of you, maybe you've made the eye contact. You're feeling the sparks. It's like the stuff we've seen in the movies. It does happen. It actually does happen.
Oh, so when you're in places and people look at you and could it be that some of them are trying to seduce? Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe they think you look like someone else. Am I naive?
Or maybe they're like, is that Clement? Oh my goodness, is it Clement over there?
oh, is it seduction? All right, it's 11:31. Let's get the latest now with this year's headline.
Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk.
On 702.
All right, 25 minutes before 12 o'clock, we are discussing the art of seduction on our relationship and sex feature. It's adult radio this hour. Lisa Welsh is a sex educator and founder of Save That Spark. And she's been guiding us through what seduction really is, how you can try it if you want to revive that spark in your relationship, in your marriage. Do you ever seduce your partner? How do you do it? Do you have your partner that knows how to seduce you, knows what buttons to press? Let us know on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Lerato, you're calling us from the Johannesburg CBD. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
I'm good. Go ahead.
I'm good, thanks. So, I think I've been struggling with the seduction. At the beginning of the relationship, it was easier because the response was also positive and it gave me more encouragement and it was more playful. But as the relationship has progressed, it's become a bit difficult because I'm just not sure if I'll get the same response I used to get. I think I've tried a few times where the response is just not the same. So I've become a bit more hesitant about doing it. Are there any ways of gaining confidence again and also just quipping his curiosity again?
Yes. How long have you guys been together?
It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've tried it, but it's not reciprocated. What do you think has changed the dynamic as well, Lerato? Are there kids involved in the mix? Is it because did you guys get busy with work? Do you now live together? what do you think changed it from the fun in the beginning to now this relaxing part?
He's been under a lot of stress.
Okay.
But I don't know if also maybe he's also just used to it. He's just used to he knows what he's going to get out of it. If it's that, it's used to my body, or he just, it's like I say, maybe he just knows, knowing what you're going to get at the end of.
Yeah, Lerato, the line is breaking there. But anyway, I think we got the point. Lisa, Lerato says, it was easy to be playful and seductive in the early stages, but now it's become a bit tricky, and she's asking if there's ways she can try and do this, because it looks like the partner hasn't reciprocated. And, and I mean, 3 years, that's still early, no?
It is still early, but I just want to say awesome Lerato for calling in with this, because it takes courage. It's vulnerability. So I think it is normal to feel the shift, even though, yes, 3 years might not seem like a lot, but it can still be a lot. So let's just think in the beginning, everything is new and exciting. There's mystery and things do change over time. So firstly, I just want to say, Lerato, this is not a sign that you're doing anything wrong. It just shows that you're in a new chapter. So I want to suggest that try to shift your focus. So instead of trying to get a response from him, I'm feeling hesitant, understandably, try instead to spark connection. We're in a new chapter. We need new tools. So have a think about what makes him feel good these days. Has something shifted? Maybe he's got different responsibilities. Maybe there's something on his mind. What do you know that you've learned about him over the last 3 years that you could think, okay, I know that this would make him feel good? And then, maybe even more importantly, what makes you feel more confident and alive again? Is there something that you can do that maybe you haven't done for a while to take care of yourself and make you feel good? Maybe it's spending time with some friends you haven't seen, or maybe it's moving your body more. Maybe it's just doing something to just reconnect with your own pleasure, because that shift in your energy is what then draws him in again, right? So it's so subtle and energetic. The stuff can't be faked. So it's like, what can you do to switch yourself on? That will bring his curiosity. So what is turning you on outside of the bedroom as well? What could make you feel sexy? And maybe ask him as well. Ask him what might make him feel sexy. You might be surprised by what he says. So know your worth. Know that you don't need a reaction, because sometimes you don't know actually what's happening with him in his day-to-day life, that, it doesn't necessarily reflect on you. So working on your energy and your presence and your playfulness, then I think you'll start to see a difference.
Let's go to some WhatsApps.
Oh, thank you so much, Clement. I'm traveling today to go see my man. We are in a long-distance relationship, and I will be listening in for all the tips on how I can seduce him and spice up our love life. Thank you.
Ooh, okay. It's going down today, Lisa. Let us know how it goes. I hope you're going to have lots of fun with your partner. Here's another one.
Hi, good morning to everyone, and good morning to the listeners. I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying their Friday. I just wanted to ask, because this is a very interesting topic and I can relate, because I've been staying with my partner for 5 years now. And by staying, I mean staying together. And a lot has happened, life is life. But what I would like to know is that, how do you bring up how do you just seduce your partner without looking desperate? Do you understand? Because sometimes you find codes and advices or people around you telling you, no, don't do it too much. You should give your partner some space. You're going to look desperate. You should have your own life outside of the relationship. Like, my partner and I are like best friends, but then it has gotten to a point where we're really, really comfortable with each other, that seducing each other is like something that sometimes I don't even think about it, to be honest.
Yes.
That's how comfortable I am. So my question is, how do you do it without looking desperate? And how do you do it? How do you bring it back after 5 years without shocking the other person, basically?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a good question, Lisa. And I want you to, if you can, touch also on this thing of, we are besties, right? Because that's sometimes, and it's a wonderful thing if you are dating someone that you are so close to, that you guys are like best friends. But at some point, there are also downsides, because you end up being so comfortable with each other as best friends that you end up relating with each other as a couple, as a lover and a lover, because, we're just best friends here. But actually, we are still lovers and we must still at least satisfy that vacuum, that gap as well.
Yeah. Oh, good questions. Okay, so let's start with the whole thing about not wanting to look desperate. I get that. And it's tricky, but I think it's because we put seduction in this box of, like, we think seduction means wearing stockings and stilettos and red lipstick. But it doesn't have to be like that. So you want to feel desired, but you don't want to look like you're begging for attention, right? So try thinking of it this way. Seduction isn't about chasing. It's about inviting. So you don't need to be obvious or over the top. You just shift your energy subtly. They'll feel it. You don't necessarily have to do much more than making eye contact or just showing up more playfully. Like that shift in your energy instead of, so if you've had a really busy day, it's hectic and you're feeling stressed, what can you do to shift your energy before you connect with your partner? Maybe it's taking a shower, changing your clothes, jumping up and down, shaking your body out like a rag doll for a while, just to bring a different vibe. And that's going to remind your partner that, oh, here she is and she's alive, right? And then just being interested. So if your partner's telling you about their day, I think we're often very, very guilty of not really listening, being on our phone. I know I do that. Put your phone down. Look at them, listen, respond authentically. So this isn't about being desperate. It's about showing them that I'm interested in you. I want to know about your day. Oh, would you like me to rub your shoulders? But it doesn't have to be like, let's lie down and get out the oils and light the candles. It's just like moments without pressure, without any particular goal, to just shift the energy. And so to bring that into the besties, because it's similar in a way, because if you're besties, you just feel like this is great. What do we need to change? But like you said, the spark can sometimes be difficult. At least you have got the trust, the laughter, the comfort. You've got a massively strong foundation. So what can you do to just shift the energy slightly to be a little bit spicier? It could be a compliment that goes a little bit deeper, like, oh, your voice sounds so hot when you say that. Or, oh, you look so cute when you did this, So you're being like a little bit more sensual or a little bit more intentional than usual, whether you're touching them, maybe you're lingering with the touch or just saying something, there's just a subtle edge to what you're doing. So you don't need to stop being besties, but just hug a little bit longer, hold the gaze a little bit longer. You're creating like the date moments. Maybe you're wearing something a little bit different. Maybe you do put on the red lipstick and it's just like a reminder like, oh, I forgot that you were also my lover, So it's making sure that you're layering in things that remind you you're not just friends. Being friends is amazing, but you're not forcing anything. You're just adding more intentionality and you're inviting that sexier connection.
Another anonymous says, Clement, what do you do when you just have a partner that doesn't like touchy and is comfortable in bed and with lights off, and you try to even hug and it feels weird, and a kiss is like he wants to run away? No. Okay. How do you get some? Because I suppose maybe the next person, the anonymous's partner, is just awkward around these things, never knows how to respond. I mean, Anonymous says, when she tries to kiss him, it's like he wants to run away. So that can be difficult to be intimate with someone like that, because Anonymous does want the touchy stuff, but the other person is struggling with that. Any advice for Anonymous? Where to begin? Maybe with the small things? I mean, she is not asking for a lot. She's just like wants to hug his partner and kiss him.
Well, no, it can be really painful. That sounds painful. So the listener is wanting that closeness, and having a partner pull away is difficult. So I would say in this situation, you need to look deeper. Like, what is the reason why that person doesn't want to be touched? Is it stress? Maybe there's trauma, physical discomfort. Maybe there's disconnection. Maybe that it's worth looking at that, because most people who are in a healthy space and in a healthy state of mind, of mental health, are open to being touched. Not everybody. It could be some neurospiciness going on there. So I wouldn't start with seduction. I would start with safety and a conversation, just trying to understand what's happening. So being honest, like, I've noticed that you pull away when I touch you. So can we talk about that? and then just listen without trying to fix, just being present and understanding what is happening. Because sometimes people avoid touch because they feel pressured to have sex. This happens often with women where, say, their husband will give them a pat on the bum and they kind of bristle and they clam up and they don't want that touch because they feel like that is a pressure to leading to sex. They feel like that is some kind of initiation. So one way you could potentially rebuild trust is by building in affection and touch with no agenda, so that there's no, it doesn't mean that if I touch you on the thigh, I'm going to try and get you into bed in 10 minutes. So if they feel comfortable, a simple hug, hand on the shoulder, sitting next to each other closely, let them set the pace. But definitely have a conversation, and maybe seduction, it's not the right time for that at this stage.
Okay, 12 minutes before 12. More WhatsApps and calls after this.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
10 minutes before 12 o'clock. Let's go back to your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
Morning, Clement. I try to seduce my wife. I just look at her and she goes like, "Don't look at me like that. I'm tired." Good morning. I don't know what to do.
What? Like, don't look at me like that. I'm tired. Okay, Lisa. Clearly that look has a reference point. Like, maybe the wife knows that, the minute I see that look, I know what he wants.
Oh no. Okay, so she obviously knows that look is obviously a very special look. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of people say that they're tired, and it could in fact be that they don't want to be invited into the same kind of intimacy that typically happens. So here's an idea. Instead of giving her the look, which she automatically has a response for, try doing something different. We can invite our partners to intimacy in lots of different ways, and we can invite them into specific kinds of intimacy. So this is something I like to suggest, creating a sex menu. What I mean by that is have like a quickie menu, have more of a seductive menu, like a romantic menu, but that you guys together discuss. What would your ideal sex menu include? Like kissing, a bit of foreplay, a bit of this and that, finish up with this magical thing at the end. Maybe her idea of a great sex menu would be a long massage and a foot rub and then X, Y, and Z that maybe we don't want to say on the radio, right? So we create these different menus that are exciting to each of us, and it's okay that we have different preferences. And then instead of just giving her the look, which gives her that knee-jerk reaction, you say, how do you feel about trying X, Y, and Z tonight? Or would you like A, B, or C? What do you feel available for? What would feel good for you right now? So then she has to actually think about it, like, oh. And as somebody in a partnership, it's important to not only always say no to your partner, but to actually check in and think about what could you be available for? Are you interested in laying naked together, kissing, gazing into each other's eyes? Like, if your partner's reaching out and giving you that look, instead of automatically shutting it down, realize that is a bid for connection. So how are you available to connect? So It goes both ways. If you're listening and you always say no to that reaction, could you be available for something instead of rejecting without even thinking? And if you're the person who's initiating, could you change it up so that you can invite them into something that might be appealing and interesting instead of using the same old technique that just gets shut down?
Yeah.
Hello,
Rejection
Clement.
is
Morning.
tough.
This is Lois from Moraleta Park. So, how does a guy go about seducing his girlfriend? I'm really not practiced in that area because, let's say, me and my girlfriend had a child, and then 8 months later, and the act is still not as consistent as before. Maybe we perform the act only maybe once a month. So how does a guy go about doing that? Can you please ask your guest?
Okay, let's get this one as well.
So if we're wanting to have more consistent intimacy, firstly, I guess you just have to understand that becoming a parent does change everything. And 8 months, things are still adjusting. There is exhaustion, hormonal shifts, identity shift for both of you, right? So if sex is inconsistent right now, it's not like a red flag for your relationship. It's really common. And if you feel like you're not practiced at seduction, that's okay. You can just begin in very small ways. And you can actually, by the fact that you're interested in doing this is a huge positive. So you're showing up with affection, right? If you can just show up with affection without necessarily expecting anything in return, especially in the early days, then it can start to rebuild that connection and the spark, right? So you're just showing up, not pressuring her, not having that kind of like, oh, come on, it's been 8 months. It should be weekly by now. It should be every 3 days. So instead, you're just inviting, you're showing the interest, you're reminding her that she's so special to you with those compliments, doing the dishes without being asked, all of that kind of stuff. That energy, instead of thinking, what can I do to get sex? Instead, what can you do to help her feel relaxed, to help you both feel connected, and to remind yourselves that you are these kind of lovers who have that spark as well. So it's taking time, step by step, you'll get there again.
Hey Clement, love the topic. I just wanted to share that what works for me, and maybe this could work for others and they could incorporate it, is music. If you know your partner is coming to your house or you are driving there, be like me and have a playlist on Spotify that has the kind of music that gets you in the mood, that gets you thinking, yes, I am that girl. I am the sexy, seductive human being, and I am going to rock his world and he's going to rock mine. Because as the music is playing and you're listening and you're singing along, you start imagining all these things, and it kind of helps get you in the mood. And for me, by the time he comes over and when he hears the music play, he knows that it's time.
What time
that
it
we're
is.
about to get it on. So, music, ladies, music. I reckon it helps.
All right.
Along with lingerie, of course.
Along with lingerie. Love it. I love
10
it.
out of 10.
10
what
out
a
of
great
10.
suggestion.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa
awesome.
Welsh, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining us. Lisa Welsh is a sex educator and founder of Save That Spark. Check it out. It's 4 minutes before 12.